Something truly extraordinary is unfolding, yet only a handful of people are fully aware of its significance. Did you realize that within your own home, there could be an immense source of spiritual protection, one so powerful that it has the ability to positively transform not only your life, but also the lives of those closest to you? However, there is a crucial detail that many overlook. If you are not using this source correctly, you could unintentionally be doing the exact opposite, leaving your household vulnerable to difficulties, unseen disturbances, and negative energies. Padre Pio, a man deeply connected to divine wisdom, imparted a vital teaching regarding the crucifix. This knowledge is not widely known, yet it holds the potential to be the determining factor between a home that is blessed and safeguarded and one that remains spiritually exposed to harm. There are some common missteps that nearly everyone makes without even realizing it, and these mistakes could be standing in the way of the blessings that are meant to reach you and your loved ones. Have you ever entered a home that felt warm, peaceful, and filled with an indescribable sense of harmony? And on the other hand, have you been in places where the air felt heavy, where an underlying tension lingered in the atmosphere? There is a clear reason for this contrast, and in this discussion, you will uncover the profound truth behind it. Padre Pio shared essential guidance on how to truly awaken the protective power of the crucifix in your home. But before we proceed, take a moment to write in the comments, "I trust in divine protection." Engaging in this small act of faith could be the very first step in opening the doors to abundant spiritual blessings in your home. And if you find this topic meaningful, be sure to subscribe and leave a like so that this vital message reaches others who are also seeking guidance and protection. Get ready, because what you are about to learn could alter your life in ways you never imagined. The crucifix is far more than a simple decoration or a mere religious artifact displayed on a wall. It serves as a shield against harm, a wellspring of divine blessings, and a stronghold that prevents disturbances from disrupting the peace of a household. Throughout centuries, homes filled with faith have been protected by the presence of the crucifix. However, many people fail to grasp the full extent of its power or understand the proper way to activate its spiritual benefits. Padre Pio, who possessed an extraordinary connection to the divine, repeatedly emphasized the importance of keeping a crucifix in the home. But he cautioned that merely owning one was insufficient. To harness its true power, it must be placed in the correct location and accompanied by certain spiritual practices. The cross is not only a sacred emblem of faith, but also a powerful symbol of triumph over darkness, a sign of ultimate redemption, and a conduit through which divine grace flows into the lives of believers. Unfortunately, many people place a crucifix in their homes without giving it the reverence it deserves. They might hang it on a wall too high to notice, allow it to gather dust, or even forget it is there altogether. What many fail to realize is that when used with genuine faith and purpose, the crucifix serves as a spiritual defense, safeguarding the household from negative influences, inner conflicts, and hardships that attempt to take root within the home. Padre Pio specifically instructed that the crucifix should be positioned with intention in key areas of the house. It should not be randomly placed without thought, but rather situated where its protective presence can be most effective. One of the most vital locations for a crucifix is near the main entrance, the very threshold through which people and external energies enter. Having a crucifix at this entryway functions as a spiritual shield, preventing anything disruptive from infiltrating the sanctuary of the home. Another essential location for a crucifix is the living room, the heart of family life, and the space where guests are welcomed. The presence of a crucifix in this room helps foster a spirit of peace and ensures that the household remains harmonious. Additionally, it is highly recommended to place a crucifix in the bedrooms, particularly in the rooms of children. Having one in these spaces is believed to provide a sense of security throughout the night, warding off nightmares and disturbances that may interfere with restful sleep. Padre Pio also advised placing a crucifix in the kitchen, the area where meals are prepared to nourish the family. According to his teachings, this space should be spiritually fortified to ensure that abundance and provision are never lacking within the home. However, one significant detail is frequently overlooked by many. Simply placing a crucifix in the home is not enough, it must be spiritually activated for its full power to take effect. This activation begins with having the crucifix blessed by a priest. Without a blessing, a crucifix is like a door without a lock. It holds potential, but it lacks the necessary spiritual safeguard. Beyond receiving a blessing, Padre Pio emphasized that families should interact with the crucifix daily. It should never be treated as just another decoration, but rather as a focal point for devotion, reflection, and prayer. Every time we pass by it, we can pause for a moment, make the sign of the cross, and silently offer a prayer of gratitude for the protection and grace it brings into our lives. During difficult moments, when tension arises among family members, when anxieties grow overwhelming, or when burdens feel insurmountable, Padre Pio encouraged turning to the crucifix in prayer. He recommended lighting a candle beside it and offering heartfelt prayers for clarity, peace, and divine intervention. This simple act deepens the spiritual connection of the household and dispels negative energy that might attempt to take hold. Numerous families have shared remarkable testimonies of transformation after properly honoring the crucifix in their homes. Some have experienced a newfound sense of tranquility, fewer conflicts, and an unexplained but undeniable feeling of serenity. Others have noticed improvements in their financial circumstances or found solutions to long-standing problems that once seemed impossible to overcome. Padre Pio firmly believed that the crucifix is not merely a means of spiritual protection, but also a tool for profound transformation. When approached with genuine faith, it has the power to heal illnesses, mend broken relationships, and attract unexpected blessings into one's life. However, for these benefits to manifest, the crucifix must not be treated as an ordinary object, but rather as a sacred and active part of daily life. The key to unlocking the true power of the crucifix lies in faith. It is not about superstition or blind belief, but rather about embracing the deep and meaningful connection to what the cross represents. Those who hold it in reverence and engage with it wholeheartedly can experience its protection in ways that go beyond explanation. If you already have a crucifix in your home, take a moment to reflect: are you using it in the way it was meant to be used? Are you receiving the full extent of its spiritual protection, or has it become nothing more than an unnoticed object hanging on the wall? And if you do not yet have a crucifix in your home, perhaps today is the perfect opportunity to begin strengthening the spiritual foundation of your household. Padre Pio dedicated his life to faith, and throughout his years, he received countless divine revelations about the power of prayer and the significance of sacred objects in shielding homes from spiritual harm. Among his many teachings, one of the most profound was his message about the crucifix, how its presence can completely transform the energy of a home, deepen the faith of those who reside there, and serve as a powerful safeguard against negative forces that seek to disrupt harmony. Padre Pio never parted from his crucifix, always carrying it with him as a source of strength and comfort. During his prayers, he would hold onto it tightly, drawing from its divine presence, especially in times of hardship and uncertainty. To him, the crucifix was far more than a mere religious emblem. It was an active and powerful conduit of protection, grace, and blessings. He often warned that while many people kept a crucifix in their homes, very few truly understood the depth of its power or knew how to properly activate its spiritual benefits. Padre Pio's teachings revealed that the crucifix has the ability to shift the spiritual atmosphere of a home. He emphasized that when positioned with faith, love, and reverence, it becomes a beacon of divine light, radiating a presence that harmonizes the environment, wards off negativity, and fosters a space of peace and spiritual purity. Countless individuals have shared remarkable testimonies about the transformation they experienced after properly placing a crucifix in their home and truly engaging with it. Many reported that long-standing family disputes began to dissolve, their homes became noticeably more peaceful, and an inexplicable sense of calm replaced the heavy tension that once lingered in the air. However, Padre Pio made it clear that simply hanging a crucifix on the wall like any other decoration was not enough. For it to truly manifest its power within a household, there were essential steps that needed to be taken. These steps ensured that the crucifix would not just be an object of display, but a sacred instrument of divine protection and grace that actively influenced the lives of those within the home. The first and most crucial step is ensuring that the crucifix has been properly blessed by a priest. Without a blessing, its potential remains dormant like a lighthouse without illumination, capable of guiding but lacking the necessary divine activation. Holy water, when used in the priest's blessing, consecrates the crucifix, turning it into a true vessel of protection and spiritual strength. This step is fundamental, as a blessed crucifix carries a sacred energy that can help shield the home from unseen negative forces. The second step is being intentional about where the crucifix is placed within the home. It should not be tucked away in an unnoticed corner or left in a place where it is rarely seen. Instead, it must be positioned in a place of honor somewhere visible and accessible, so that the family can interact with it regularly. Padre Pio specifically recommended certain locations where its presence would have the greatest impact. One of the most significant placements is above the main entrance, acting as a spiritual barrier that shields the household from external negative influences. The living room, where families gather and spend time together, is another ideal location, as it fosters harmony and serves as a constant reminder of faith. Additionally, he advised placing a crucifix in bedrooms, particularly in children's rooms, as a means of offering nightly protection and ensuring peaceful rest. The third step, and perhaps the most vital, is actively engaging with the crucifix as part of daily spiritual practice. Padre Pio stressed that simply owning a crucifix is not enough. It must be used with faith and devotion. He encouraged believers to look upon it with reverence, touch it with sincerity, and offer prayers before it regularly. He advised that each morning and night, family members should make the sign of the cross before the crucifix, expressing gratitude for divine protection and seeking blessings for the day ahead or the night to come. Additionally, he emphasized the importance of holding a crucifix while praying, as he believed this act created a direct link to Christ's sacrifice and helped individuals remain steadfast in their faith, especially during moments of suffering and doubt. During times of illness, distress, or struggles within the family, Padre Pio recommended placing the crucifix at the heart of the home, where everyone could gather and offer prayers for healing, guidance, and strength. The presence of the crucifix in these moments was believed to bring clarity, peace, and divine intervention in ways that could not be easily explained. Many who followed this practice shared stories of miraculous healings, unexpected solutions to long-standing problems, and an overall sense of spiritual renewal. However, Padre Pio also warned about the common mistakes people make regarding the crucifix in their homes. One of the most frequent errors was treating it as nothing more than a decorative object. He likened this to owning a shield, but never lifting it in battle. It holds power, but if never used, it cannot provide the protection it is meant to offer. Another mistake was placing the crucifix in an unsuitable location, such as a storage room, an isolated shelf, or a dark corner where it is never noticed. Padre Pio insisted that the crucifix should be in a place where its presence is felt daily, where those in the home can see it, interact with it, and be reminded of their faith. Additionally, he cautioned against neglecting or disrespecting the crucifix. A damaged or forgotten crucifix could send the wrong message, weakening its spiritual presence within the household. If a crucifix became broken, it should be repaired with care or replaced entirely, always with the intention of honoring its sacred significance. Those who maintained their crucifix with devotion, ensuring it remained clean and well kept, often reported feeling a greater connection to their faith and an increased sense of divine presence in their home. Over the years, thousands of individuals have shared how their lives underwent incredible changes after implementing Padre Pio's teachings on the crucifix. Some spoke of financial burdens that seemed to lift, with unexpected opportunities presenting themselves. Others reported experiencing deep emotional and physical healing. Many families who had been plagued by long-standing conflicts found resolutions that had once seemed impossible. But according to Padre Pio, the most profound transformation was not external but internal. He taught that a home where the crucifix is honored becomes infused with a divine peace that extends to every person who dwells there. Worries become lighter, anxieties lessen, and faith grows stronger. The crucifix stands as a silent yet powerful reminder that no one is ever truly alone, that hope is always present, and that divine protection is available to all who seek it with sincerity. If you already have a crucifix in your home, now is the time to reflect: are you truly making use of its full potential? Has it been blessed and placed in the right location? Do you engage with it as a source of faith, or has it simply become another item on the wall? And if you do not yet have a crucifix in your home, this may be the perfect opportunity to invite divine protection into your life. The size or material of the crucifix does not matter. What truly holds significance is the faith with which it is received and the devotion with which it is honored. Padre Pio left a profound and timeless message. The crucifix is not merely a religious symbol, but a tool of divine light, a shield against darkness, and a source of endless blessings for all who believe in its power. Throughout his life, he imparted wisdom that has continued to resonate with believers across the world. Among his most impactful teachings was his revelation about the three great powers of the crucifix. When used with genuine faith, it serves as a shield against evil, a channel for both physical and spiritual healing, and a transformative force capable of changing lives. To Padre Pio, the crucifix was not just an object. It was a sacred vessel through which grace and divine blessings flowed, capable of making an extraordinary difference in the lives of those who honored it with reverence and unwavering belief. The crucifix holds immense power, and according to Padre Pio, one of its greatest strengths is its ability to serve as a shield against evil. When a family places a crucifix in their home with faith, treating it as more than just an ornament, they are establishing a spiritual barrier that repels darkness, keeping negative influences at bay and preserving the peace of their household. Padre Pio emphasized that the crucifix functions as a defense, preventing malicious forces, ill intentions, and spiritual oppression from infiltrating the home. Many believers have shared extraordinary stories of the changes they experienced after properly placing a crucifix in their living space and venerating it with true devotion. Some reported that recurring nightmares, which had tormented them for years, suddenly ceased. Others noticed a significant shift in the energy of their home. It became lighter, more peaceful, and filled with an undeniable sense of serenity. Even conflicts among family members seemed to diminish, replaced by a newfound atmosphere of understanding and harmony. Padre Pio strongly advised that a crucifix should be placed in the most spiritually significant locations within a home. The entrance, where people and external energies come and go, should have a crucifix positioned above it as a sign of divine protection. Bedrooms, especially those of children, benefit from the presence of a crucifix, ensuring peaceful rest and shielding against nighttime disturbances. He also recommended keeping a crucifix in shared family spaces, such as the living room, where it can serve as a daily reminder of faith and unity. Beyond the home, Padre Pio encouraged people to always carry a crucifix with them, whether worn around the neck or kept in a pocket, so that they remained under its divine protection wherever they went. However, he warned that merely owning a crucifix was not enough to harness its power. The true protective strength of the crucifix is only activated through faith, reverence, and consistent prayer. A crucifix that is neglected, gathering dust on a forgotten shelf, does not provide the same spiritual defense as one that is honored daily with devotion and unwavering trust in its significance. The second great power of the crucifix is its ability to bring healing, both physical and spiritual. Padre Pio taught that the cross is the ultimate symbol of healing because it was upon it that Christ shed his blood for humanity's salvation. For this reason, he believed that praying before a crucifix with sincere faith could bring miraculous healing to the body and soul. Countless testimonies exist of individuals who, in moments of illness, held onto a crucifix and immediately felt a deep sense of relief, sometimes even experiencing recoveries that could not be explained by medical science. Padre Pio encouraged those who were sick to hold a crucifix in their hands and offer their suffering to God, trusting that through faith they would receive divine grace and healing. However, he did not only speak of physical ailments, he believed that the crucifix had an even more profound power, the ability to heal the soul. He taught that whenever someone felt lost, burdened by despair, or consumed by anxiety, they should turn to the crucifix, fix their gaze upon it with an open heart, and ask for divine help. Many people struggling with crises of faith, deep depression, or overwhelming hopelessness have testified that praying before the crucifix brought them immense comfort. As they poured out their worries in prayer, their inner turmoil eased, a deep sense of peace replaced their distress, and they were reminded that God was walking with them every step of their journey. The third and most transformative power of the crucifix, according to Padre Pio, is its ability to change lives in extraordinary ways. He explained that the crucifix does not merely protect and heal, it also has the power to bring about profound transformations for those who trust in it. In homes where tension, misfortune, and struggles seemed endless, the introduction of a crucifix, combined with daily prayer, has led to incredible changes. People who had been weighed down by constant financial troubles found unexpected breakthroughs. Families who had been trapped in cycles of conflict and discord discovered newfound harmony. Those who once lived with a sense of emptiness found their hearts filled with renewed faith, hope, and purpose. Padre Pio taught that when someone truly honors the crucifix, they establish a direct line of communication with God, allowing divine grace to flow freely into their life. Many who have followed his guidance have witnessed extraordinary blessings unfold before them. After placing a crucifix in their home and praying before it daily, some found solutions to problems that had seemed impossible, while others were met with unexpected opportunities that completely altered their paths. However, Padre Pio emphasized that for this transformative power to be fully realized, faith must be unwavering. It is not enough to pray before the crucifix once and then forget about it. It requires a continuous commitment, a steadfast belief, and a willingness to turn to it not only in times of hardship, but also in moments of gratitude. He himself was a living testimony to the transformative power of the crucifix. During the most painful moments of his life, when his body was weakened by illness, and when he endured relentless spiritual attacks, he would find refuge in the crucifix. Holding it close, gazing at it with love and devotion, he drew from it the strength to persevere. He taught that when someone feels weak, exhausted, or on the verge of giving up, they should cling to the crucifix and remember that the cross is the ultimate symbol of love and redemption. By looking upon it, they are reminded that they are never alone, that their suffering has meaning, and that hope is never lost for those who trust in God's divine plan. Padre Pio left behind a clear and powerful message. The crucifix is not just a decorative object or a religious symbol. It is an instrument of grace with real, tangible power. Those who truly understand its significance and use it with faith will experience a profound transformation in their lives. If you have a crucifix in your home, now you know that you possess an incredible tool of protection, healing, and blessings, but it is up to you to activate its power through prayer, devotion, and trust. And if you do not yet have a crucifix, this may be the perfect time to welcome this divine source of grace into your life. Padre Pio taught that the crucifix is a constant reminder of God's boundless love, and for those who hold on to its strength, hope and blessings will never be in short supply. The presence of the crucifix in a home is an immeasurable gift, but to fully receive its power, it must be used in the right way. Padre Pio warned that many people have crucifixes in their homes, yet fail to obtain all the spiritual benefits they could because they make crucial mistakes in how they treat them. One of the most common errors is treating the crucifix as a mere decoration. Some people place it on a shelf, tuck it away in a box, or hang it on the wall without ever truly acknowledging it. Padre Pio cautioned that the crucifix is not simply an ornament, it is a powerful tool of spiritual protection that requires devotion, reverence, and active engagement. To unlock its blessings, it must be honored with faith, positioned with intention, and used as a focal point of prayer. Those who embrace the crucifix as more than just an object will come to witness firsthand the immense grace, peace, and divine protection that flow from it. A crucifix that is forgotten, left to gather dust, and neglected in prayer is like a warrior possessing a shield, but never lifting it in battle. Simply having a crucifix in the home is not enough. It must be honored, acknowledged, and actively used as a source of faith and divine protection. It should be looked upon with reverence, interacted with in prayer, and treated as the sacred object of power that it truly is. Another common and serious mistake people make is placing the crucifix in the wrong locations. Some position it in obscure corners of the house, where no one ever sees it or acknowledges its presence. Others put it in areas filled with distractions, such as near televisions, computers, or entertainment centers, where it becomes an afterthought rather than a focal point of devotion. Padre Pio strongly emphasized that the crucifix should be placed in strategic locations where it can be easily seen and honored daily, serving as a continuous reminder of faith and divine protection. One of the most important places to position a crucifix is at the main entrance of the home. The entrance is not only the gateway for people, but also the threshold where external energies enter. A crucifix positioned above the doorway acts as a spiritual shield, ensuring that negativity is kept out and that only blessings and peace flow into the household. Another crucial location is the bedroom, particularly above the headboard of the bed. Padre Pio warned that during sleep, people are spiritually more vulnerable, as it is a state in which the soul is more open and receptive. Having a crucifix above the bed provides protection during the night, preventing disturbances, reducing nightmares, and offering a sense of calm that promotes restful sleep. It also serves as a reminder to begin and end each day in prayer, acknowledging that every new morning is a gift from God. The living room is also a vital space for a crucifix, as it is the heart of the home where families gather and where guests are welcomed. Padre Pio taught that having a crucifix in this area helps bring harmony to relationships, ensuring that love, patience, and understanding prevail. Many households experience tensions and disagreements in the living room, but a crucifix serves as a silent guardian, blessing conversations, strengthening family unity, and preventing unnecessary conflicts. Another location that many people overlook is the kitchen. Padre Pio taught that the kitchen is not just a place where meals are prepared, it is the space where the family receives nourishment, both physically and spiritually. By placing a crucifix in the kitchen, one ensures that meals are blessed, that provision is never lacking, and that the household remains a place of gratitude and abundance. Additionally, if a home has a dedicated prayer space or altar, the crucifix should be its central focus. This ensures that all prayers and moments of reflection are directed toward the sacred reminder of Christ's sacrifice and protection. If a crucifix is placed in an improper location, somewhere it is rarely seen, ignored, or overshadowed by distractions, it loses its potential as a connection to faith. When positioned thoughtfully and with purpose, it becomes a daily anchor for spiritual strength and guidance. Another significant mistake people make is failing to have the crucifix blessed before placing it in their home. Padre Pio explained that while an unblessed crucifix remains a powerful symbol of faith, it has not yet been spiritually activated with the strength of the Church. A priest's blessing consecrates the crucifix, transforming it into an instrument of divine protection. One of the first steps when acquiring a crucifix should always be taking it to a parish and having it blessed. If someone already has a crucifix at home, but is unsure whether it has been blessed, they can bring it to a church and request this sacred ritual to ensure it carries its full spiritual power. A very common mistake is neglecting to pray before the crucifix. Many homes have crucifixes displayed, but few people take the time to actually stand before them in prayer. Padre Pio taught that the true power of the crucifix is activated through devotion. Looking at it with sincerity, offering prayers before it, and acknowledging its significance opens a direct channel of communication with God. This does not require long, complicated prayers. Even a simple moment of gratitude, a request for protection, or a quiet reflection can strengthen the spiritual connection between the crucifix and those who seek its blessings. Another mistake that Padre Pio warned against was keeping a crucifix in poor condition. A broken, rusted, or damaged crucifix should never be disregarded, as this reflects a lack of reverence for its sacred nature. If a crucifix becomes worn, it should be restored with care. If it is beyond repair, it should not be thrown away in the trash, but taken to a church for proper disposal. Some may believe that the physical state of the crucifix does not matter, but Padre Pio taught that the way sacred objects are treated is a reflection of how much importance they hold in one's life. Keeping a crucifix clean and in good condition is a demonstration of devotion and respect. Another common yet serious mistake is placing the crucifix near objects that contradict Christian beliefs. Some people position it alongside esoteric items, superstitious charms, or objects associated with practices that do not align with the faith. Padre Pio warned that mixing the crucifix with elements that do not reflect Christian teachings can diminish its spiritual significance, creating confusion rather than fostering divine clarity. The crucifix does not need to be accompanied by any charms or objects of superstition. Its power comes solely from its sacred meaning and the faith placed in it. A mistake that few people realize is failing to renew devotion to the crucifix. Many start off with enthusiasm, praying before the crucifix and seeking its protection, but over time, their devotion fades. Padre Pio recommended that from time to time, individuals renew their connection with the crucifix. This could be done through a special prayer, a moment of reflection, or even something as simple as cleaning it with care and gratitude, reaffirming its importance in their lives. However, the greatest mistake of all is lacking faith in the power of the crucifix. Having one in the home without truly believing in its ability to protect, heal, and transform is like carrying an umbrella on a stormy day, but never opening it. Its power does not come from its mere presence, but from the faith and trust placed in it. Padre Pio firmly stated that the crucifix is a key that unlocks divine protection, but without faith, its blessings cannot be fully experienced. If you have made any of these mistakes, there is no need to worry. What truly matters is that now you have the knowledge to correct them and fully embrace the power of the crucifix in your home. Starting today, take a moment to examine where your crucifix is placed. Ensure that it has been blessed, move it to a location where it can be seen and honored daily, and most importantly, commit to praying before it more often. If you do not yet have a crucifix, now is the perfect time to bring this sacred object into your home and begin experiencing the protection, blessings, and grace it offers. Padre Pio left a clear and unwavering message. The crucifix is not just an object, it is a channel of divine grace capable of transforming lives. When treated with faith and devotion, its power becomes undeniable. The placement of the crucifix in your home is essential to activate its full strength of protection and blessing. It is not just about owning one. It must be positioned strategically in places where its presence can have the greatest impact on the spiritual well-being of your household. Padre Pio taught that there are specific locations where the crucifix should be placed to provide maximum protection, making its spiritual influence even more powerful. The main entrance is one of the most critical locations, as it serves as the gateway for both people and spiritual energies entering the home. By placing a crucifix at the entrance, a person establishes a spiritual barrier that prevents negative influences from crossing the threshold. A crucifix at the entrance does more than just protect those living in the home, it also blesses those who visit, serving as a reminder of faith and an invitation for all to enter with respect, harmony, and goodwill. Placing a crucifix in the kitchen serves a purpose beyond decoration. It brings blessings to the food prepared and attracts abundance into the home. It transforms the act of cooking into an opportunity for gratitude, reminding the household that meals are not just sustenance for the body, but also nourishment for the soul. A crucifix in the kitchen helps create a peaceful environment, reducing stress while preparing food and allowing every meal to be made with love and mindfulness. It also serves as a reminder to appreciate the blessings of provision and the importance of sharing meals with gratitude. If your home includes a prayer space or altar, the crucifix should be the central focus of that sacred area. This is where spiritual connection is at its strongest, where prayers and supplications are offered, and where moments of reflection draw a person closer to God. Padre Pio taught that a crucifix placed on a personal altar functions as a spiritual amplifier, making prayers more powerful and ensuring they are heard with greater intensity. To enhance this sacred atmosphere, it is recommended to light candles, dedicate time daily to prayer and thanksgiving, and maintain an environment of peace and devotion. While these are some of the primary locations where a crucifix should be placed, Padre Pio also advised keeping one in other important areas where significant time is spent. For instance, having a crucifix in your workplace or office can serve as a blessing over your daily tasks and help maintain peace in a professional environment, preventing stress from overwhelming your mind and spirit. Another strategic location is inside your car. A small crucifix can be placed on the rearview mirror or dashboard, not only as a reminder of faith, but also as a means of seeking divine protection for every journey. Many believers have found that traveling with a crucifix brings them a sense of safety and calmness while driving, helping to avoid accidents and ensuring a peaceful state of mind on the road. Now that the proper locations for placing a crucifix have been established, it is equally important to understand the correct way to position it in order to maximize its power of protection and blessing. Padre Pio emphasized that certain details matter, as they contribute to the crucifix serving its full spiritual function within the home. First, the crucifix should be placed at a visible and accessible height. It should not be hung too high where no one notices it, nor in a place where it is easily overlooked or hidden behind other objects. Instead, it should be positioned where it can be seen, honored, and interacted with daily. Another key factor is ensuring that the crucifix is properly secured and straight. A tilted or unstable crucifix should be adjusted, as its placement is symbolic, just as a strong and stable crucifix represents a firm foundation in faith. A crooked one can be seen as a sign of spiritual instability. By aligning it correctly, believers reinforce a sense of strength and unwavering faith within their home. Although size is not the most important factor, it does have significance. A crucifix does not need to be large in order to be powerful. What truly gives it meaning is the faith and devotion with which it is honored. A small crucifix that is cherished, prayed before, and looked upon with reverence holds far more significance than a large one that is ignored or treated as a mere decoration. Padre Pio also spoke about the orientation of the crucifix. According to his teachings, the ideal direction is facing east, where the sun rises. This placement symbolizes the light of Christ illuminating the home, bringing spiritual renewal and reinforcing the faith of those who dwell within it. Since Christ's resurrection is associated with the rising sun, this direction serves as a constant reminder of divine grace and the promise of salvation. Beyond its placement, keeping the crucifix in good condition is crucial. If it becomes damaged, broken, or dirty, it should be cleaned with care and reverence, or, if necessary, replaced with a new one. A neglected crucifix reflects a lack of devotion, while a well-kept crucifix shows respect for its sacred purpose. Having a crucifix in the home is a privilege, but its true power is only activated when it is honored with faith and used with intention. It is not enough to simply hang it on a wall and forget about it. It should be a daily point of connection to faith, a reminder of divine protection, and a source of strength in both difficult and joyful moments. Padre Pio left behind this wisdom so that every home could become a refuge of peace, love, and blessings. If your crucifix is not yet in the proper place in your home, now is the perfect time to make this adjustment and begin experiencing its protection and spiritual benefits. Take a moment to examine its position, ensure that it has been blessed, and commit to praying before it more often. If you do not yet own a crucifix, now is an ideal opportunity to acquire one, place it with intention, and invite divine protection into your life. Every time you look at the crucifix, remember that it is not just a symbol. It is a powerful source of strength, faith, and divine blessings for you and your family. Padre Pio emphasized that praying before the crucifix at specific times of the day holds special significance. It is not only about praying whenever there is free time, but about recognizing the moments when the spiritual connection is strongest, allowing prayers to be heard with greater clarity and received with deeper grace. According to Padre Pio, there are two specific hours when the veil between heaven and earth is at its thinnest: 3 p.m. and 3 a.m. These times are not random, but carry deep spiritual meaning, recognized throughout history as sacred moments of divine connection. 3 p.m. is known as the hour of mercy. This is the precise moment when Jesus surrendered his spirit on the cross, marking the completion of his greatest sacrifice for humanity. It is the hour when divine mercy was poured out upon the world, opening the gates for forgiveness, redemption, and grace. Praying before the crucifix at 3 p.m. is a way to unite oneself with Christ's suffering, to reflect on his unconditional love, and to seek divine mercy for personal and family needs. During this sacred time, prayers are said to be heard with greater intensity, allowing believers to intercede for their loved ones, ask for protection, and express gratitude for the immense sacrifice that brought salvation to the world. Many who have adopted the habit of praying at this hour have shared remarkable experiences. Some say they feel a deep, unexplainable peace. Others have noticed that their prayers seem to be answered more quickly, and many find that even during life's most challenging moments, they are given the strength to persevere. Padre Pio recommended that at this hour, in addition to personal prayers, believers should pray the Divine Mercy Chaplet or meditate on the Passion of Christ. Reflecting on his sacrifice strengthens faith, deepens the understanding of divine love, and solidifies the connection between the soul and God. On the other hand, 3M carries a different yet equally profound spiritual meaning. This is the moment when the darkness of night reaches its peak, just before the first light of dawn begins to appear. In Christian tradition, it is believed that this hour is when spiritual attacks can be at their most intense, as darkness attempts to overcome the light. Praying before the crucifix at 3 a.m. serves as a powerful defense against spiritual warfare. It is a time to call upon divine protection, rebuke negativity, and fortify the soul against any form of spiritual oppression. Many who have struggled with feelings of fear, despair, or anxiety during the night have found great comfort and relief through prayer at this hour, experiencing a sense of peace and security that carries them through until morning. By recognizing these sacred hours and praying before the crucifix at these times, believers align themselves with divine grace, deepen their spiritual connection, and invite God's protection, healing, and mercy into their lives. However, this hour is also a moment of extraordinary spiritual power, offering a chance to dispel darkness, find inner strength, and fortify the soul. Padre Pio recommended praying at this time for those who struggle with anxiety, insomnia, or spiritual unease, as nighttime often magnifies our worries and makes problems seem heavier than they truly are. Many people find that their fears and concerns intensify when the world is quiet and the distractions of the day have faded. But standing before the crucifix at 3 a.m., offering a sincere prayer, can bring immense peace, divine protection, and mental clarity. Those who have followed this teaching report feeling relief in moments of crisis, a gradual lightening of burdens, and the disappearance of fear and restlessness that once kept them awake at night. However, there is something even more important to understand. It is not enough to pray at these sacred hours only occasionally. Padre Pio taught that consistency is key. Establishing a regular prayer routine at these times strengthens faith, builds spiritual discipline, and invites lasting peace and blessings into our lives. Creating a sacred space for these moments of prayer can be incredibly powerful. One simple but effective practice is to set up a small prayer area with a crucifix and blessed candles. At 3 p.m. or 3 a.m., believers can light a candle as a symbol of their faith, take a deep breath, and dedicate a few quiet moments to prayer and reflection. These prayers do not have to be long or elaborate sometimes. A few heartfelt words spoken with sincerity have far greater impact than lengthy prayers recited mechanically. The key is to open the heart completely, to surrender worries, and to place full trust in divine guidance. Padre Pio also encouraged believers to use these special hours to pray for the souls in purgatory. It is believed that at 3 a.m. in particular, souls who have not yet reached the fullness of divine light can receive comfort through the prayers of the faithful. Offering intercessory prayers for these souls is an act of spiritual charity, a way of extending compassion and mercy to those who have departed, but still require guidance to reach eternal peace. However, the effects of praying at these hours are not limited to the individual alone, they also extend to the home and those who live in it. Many families who have embraced this practice have noticed a deep transformation within their household. Homes once filled with constant tension and conflict began to experience greater harmony and understanding. Visitors entering such homes often remark on the peaceful atmosphere they immediately sense, even without knowing about the spiritual discipline being practiced there. Padre Pio always emphasized that the power of prayer is real, but it must be used with faith and discipline. It is not about superstition or ritual for the sake of habit. It is about cultivating a true and meaningful relationship with God, connecting with Him at the moments when heaven feels closest to earth. If praying at 3 p.m. or 3 a.m. daily is not possible, it is still beneficial to turn to prayer at these hours during moments of great difficulty, when facing major decisions, or when seeking clarity and peace. Many believers have shared that they sometimes wake up unexpectedly at 3 a.m. without any apparent reason. Instead of dismissing it, they have chosen to take advantage of the moment to pray, and they have experienced profound relief, a sense of calm, and a unique connection with the divine. If this ever happens to you, do not ignore it. See it as an invitation to pray, a divine calling to strengthen your faith. It may be that at that exact moment, someone in need requires your intercession, or perhaps God is reaching out to you, offering you a moment of closeness and renewal. Padre Pio left this wisdom for all believers, teaching us to use time as an ally in our spiritual journey. Knowing when to pray is just as important as knowing what to pray. Now that you understand this sacred revelation from Padre Pio, are you ready to accept the challenge? Begin today and discover for yourself the power of prayer when heaven is nearest to earth. The crucifix and its profound impact on children. Padre Pio taught that the crucifix is not just a symbol of faith for adults, it carries immense spiritual significance for children as well. From an early age, children are deeply receptive to both positive and negative spiritual influences. This is why introducing the crucifix into their lives is an essential step in strengthening their faith and protecting them from anything that might lead them away from the right path. Many parents underestimate the power of visually reinforcing faith in their children. They assume that simply taking them to church or teaching them a few memorized prayers is enough. However, they fail to realize that children need a tangible, visual connection to their faith, something they can see and interact with daily. A crucifix in the home serves as a constant reminder of God's presence and becomes a spiritual anchor that stays with them as they grow. Padre Pio explained that when children see a crucifix frequently and understand its meaning, their faith develops naturally and deeply. It is not just an ornament on the wall, it is a source of protection and guidance that stays with them throughout their childhood and beyond. A child who grows up seeing the crucifix in their home learns to turn to prayer in difficult moments, relying on faith for strength and reassurance. From a spiritual perspective, Children raised in homes where the crucifix is honored and actively used in prayer tend to be more receptive to faith and less influenced by harmful distractions. In today's world, where negative influences are everywhere on television, social media, and even in schools, it is critical for children to have a strong foundation in their spiritual life. Padre Pio insisted that parents should introduce their children to the meaning of the crucifix from an early age. There is no need for complex theological explanations, a simple message is enough. The crucifix is a sign of God's love, and whenever you look at it, remember that you are never alone. One of Padre Pio's key recommendations was to place a crucifix in a child's bedroom. This simple yet powerful action creates an atmosphere of peace and protection in their personal space. Many parents who have followed this advice have observed that their children sleep better, have fewer nightmares, and exhibit a calmer, more peaceful demeanor throughout the day. A crucifix in a child's room can also serve as a source of comfort during moments of fear or uncertainty. When children learn that they can say a short prayer whenever they feel scared, they develop the habit of turning to God for protection and peace, reinforcing a lifelong trust in their faith. Padre Pio also recommended teaching children to make the sign of the cross every time they pass by a crucifix. This simple gesture helps them maintain a connection to their faith and keeps them mindful of God's presence in their daily lives. Another powerful practice is teaching children to pray before the crucifix at bedtime. Instead of simply reciting memorized prayers, they should be encouraged to speak freely to God, thanking Him for their day, asking for protection, and expressing their thoughts and emotions. This fosters a personal relationship with faith, making it something real and meaningful rather than just another obligation. Padre Pio also emphasized the importance of parental example. A child who sees their parents praying before the crucifix or treating it with respect will naturally learn to do the same. But if the crucifix is only a decoration with no spiritual significance, the child will never fully grasp its value. In a world where children are constantly exposed to external influences, many of which can be spiritually harmful, ensuring they have a strong, faith-filled foundation is one of the greatest gifts a parent can give. The crucifix serves as a silent guardian, a teacher of love and sacrifice, and a constant reminder that they are protected and never alone. The crucifix serves as a spiritual shield for children, guarding their hearts and minds against influences that could lead them away from faith. In today's world, children are constantly exposed to ideas, messages, and beliefs that can confuse them or make them question the values they have been taught. But when their spiritual foundation is strong at home, they are far less likely to be swayed by influences that contradict Christian principles. Padre Pio firmly believed that a child's spiritual protection begins within their own home. Parents cannot rely solely on schools or churches to instill faith in their children. While religious education outside the home is important, faith must be actively nurtured at home, where children spend most of their time. The crucifix should be a central part of this upbringing, a visible and constant reminder of God's presence, protection, and love. Many families who have made the crucifix a daily part of their children's lives have witnessed profound changes in their behavior and attitudes. Children who once struggled to focus during prayer have developed a newfound interest in God and spiritual matters. Others who previously felt restless or anxious have found comfort and reassurance in the presence of the crucifix during difficult or confusing moments. The impact of the crucifix on a child's life extends far beyond faith. It shapes their character, their sense of morality, and their relationships with others. A child who grows up understanding the depth of Christ's love and sacrifice is more likely to develop compassion, patience, and respect for the people around them. They learn that true strength is found in humility, that forgiveness is more powerful than resentment, and that God's love is always with them, no matter the challenges they face. Padre Pio left behind many teachings about the importance of the crucifix in the home, and one of the most profound is this: children who grow up with the presence of the cross in their daily lives develop a deep, unshakable spiritual strength that carries them into adulthood. Faith that is nurtured from a young age becomes a lifelong source of guidance, comfort, and protection. Padre Pio emphasized that the crucifix is not only meant for adults, it holds a powerful role in the lives of children as well. From an early age, children are highly receptive to both positive and negative spiritual influences. That is why it is essential to introduce them to the meaning and significance of the crucifix, so that they are protected from anything that could weaken their faith or lead them astray. Many parents underestimate the importance of teaching their children about the crucifix. They assume that simply taking them to church or teaching them a few prayers is enough. But faith needs to be tangible and visual for children to fully grasp it. Having a crucifix in the home serves as a daily, concrete reminder of God's presence, a spiritual reference point that helps children stay connected to their faith as they grow. Padre Pio explained that when children frequently see a crucifix and understand its meaning, their faith strengthens naturally. It is not just a religious decoration hanging on the wall, it is a source of protection, guidance, and divine love that accompanies them through every stage of their development. A child raised in a home where the crucifix is respected and honored learns to turn to prayer in difficult moments, finding peace in their faith instead of seeking comfort in distractions or harmful influences. From a spiritual perspective, children who grow up in homes where the crucifix is an active part of family life are often more receptive to faith and less affected by negative outside influences. In a world where misleading values, constant distractions, and spiritual attacks are everywhere, it is more important than ever for children to have a strong foundation in faith that keeps them rooted in truth. Padre Pio urged parents to start talking to their children about the crucifix from an early age. There is no need for complex explanations, a simple message is enough. This is a sign of God's love. Every time you look at it, remember that Jesus is always with you, and you are never alone. One of Padre Pio's most important recommendations was to place a crucifix in a child's bedroom. This small yet incredibly powerful act creates an atmosphere of peace and divine protection in their personal space. Parents who have followed this advice have noticed that their children sleep more peacefully, experience fewer nightmares, and seem more calm and secure throughout the day. A crucifix in a child's room also serves as a source of reassurance when they feel afraid, uncertain, or overwhelmed. If a child learns to say a simple prayer whenever they feel scared, they develop the habit of trusting in God and seeking comfort in their faith, rather than turning to fear or doubt. Over time, this practice helps them build spiritual resilience, teaching them that no matter what they face, they are never alone. Padre Pio also advised teaching children to make the sign of the cross every time they pass by a crucifix. This simple yet powerful gesture keeps them mindful of God's presence throughout the day, reinforcing their spiritual awareness in a way that feels natural and effortless. Another valuable practice is encouraging children to pray before the crucifix at bedtime. Instead of just reciting memorized prayers, they should be taught to speak to God in their own words, thanking Him for the day, asking for protection, and expressing their thoughts and feelings. This helps them develop a personal, meaningful connection to their faith, rather than seeing it as just another routine obligation. Padre Pio also spoke about the importance of leading by example. A child who sees their parents praying before the crucifix, treating it with respect and devotion, will naturally learn to do the same. But if a crucifix is just a decoration that no one interacts with, the child will struggle to understand its true significance. Faith is not taught by words alone, it is shown through daily actions. In today's world, where children are constantly bombarded with outside influences, many of which threaten their spiritual well-being, giving them a strong foundation in faith is one of the greatest gifts a parent can offer. The crucifix serves as a silent guardian, a source of wisdom and love, and a constant reminder that they are protected and never alone. Padre Pio's teachings remind us that the home is the first place where faith is cultivated. By placing a crucifix in the home, especially in a child's room. Parents are planting the seeds of faith, love, and divine protection. These seeds will grow with the child, strengthening their soul and preparing them for a life filled with faith, purpose, and spiritual strength. By ensuring that children grow up with the presence of the crucifix, parents equip them with the tools they need to navigate life's challenges. They will learn that true peace comes from trusting in God, that love and sacrifice are the greatest virtues, and that no matter where life takes them, their faith will always be a guiding light. Padre Pio taught that a child's spiritual protection begins within their own home. Parents cannot depend solely on schools or churches to teach their children everything about faith. While religious education outside the home is valuable, faith must be actively nurtured within the household, where children experience their first and most lasting impressions of spiritual life. The crucifix should play a central role in this upbringing, serving as a visible and constant reminder of God's love, protection, and guidance. Many families have observed remarkable changes in their children's behavior after incorporating the crucifix into their daily routines. Restless children who once struggled to focus on prayer have become more engaged and interested in their faith. Others have found comfort and reassurance in the crucifix during moments of sadness, confusion, or fear. By simply having a visible representation of Christ's sacrifice in their environment, children develop a sense of peace and security that stays with them as they grow. The influence of the crucifix goes beyond spiritual growth. It also shapes a child's character and their relationships with others. A child who grows up understanding Christ's love and sacrifice is more likely to develop compassion, patience, and respect for those around them. They learn that forgiveness is stronger than resentment, humility is a source of true strength, and love is the foundation of all relationships. Among Padre Pio's most powerful teachings is this: children who grow up surrounded by the presence of the crucifix carry a spiritual strength that stays with them into adulthood. Faith, when nurtured from an early age, becomes a lifelong source of resilience, guidance, and divine protection. If you haven't yet placed a crucifix in your child's room or haven't taught them about its significance, now is the perfect time to start. Never underestimate the impact it can have on their life. A simple habit such as teaching them to look at the crucifix before bedtime or say a short prayer in front of it can create a foundation of faith that lasts a lifetime. Today's world is filled with distractions and challenges that can weaken a young person's faith. But when a child grows up knowing that the crucifix is a symbol of love, protection, and strength, they develop a firm spiritual foundation that helps them navigate any obstacle life brings. Just as Padre Pio taught us, let's ensure that our children grow up under the shadow of the crucifix, keeping their eyes on Christ and their hearts protected by faith. Padre Pio taught that family prayer in front of the crucifix has the power to heal relationships, restore peace, and strengthen the bonds between loved ones. In today's fast-paced world, many families struggle with disconnection, misunderstandings, and a lack of meaningful time together. But by making the crucifix a central part of family life, a home can become a spiritual refuge filled with harmony, love, and divine protection. Many families today live under the same roof, but feel emotionally distant from one another. Each person is consumed by their own responsibilities, stress, and distractions, particularly technology. But faith can become the bridge that reunites them. The crucifix in the home is not just a personal devotional object. It is a gathering place where families can come together for prayer, reflection, and healing. Padre Pio firmly believed in the transformative power of family prayer. He taught that praying together is not just an act of faith, but a moment of renewal, reconciliation, and spiritual restoration. When a family gathers in prayer before the crucifix, they are placing Christ at the center of their lives. This simple but profound act can strengthen relationships, increase understanding, and replace tension with love and unity. One of the biggest mistakes families make is treating the crucifix as a decoration rather than an active source of divine protection and unity. Padre Pio reminded us that the crucifix should be the spiritual focal point of the home, a place where family members can pause, pray, and be reminded of the true foundation of their lives: love and faith. To experience the full power of the crucifix in family life, it is essential to set aside specific moments of prayer together. Many family conflicts stem from a lack of communication, unresolved emotional wounds, and unspoken burdens. However, when family members gather in front of the crucifix and pray together, it opens the door to dialogue, understanding, and healing. Padre Pio recommended that families dedicate at least one day a week to praying together before the crucifix. This does not have to be a long or complex prayer, just a few minutes of gratitude, reflection, and a simple request for God's blessings over the home. During this time, each family member can share their worries, ask for guidance, and express thankfulness for the blessings in their lives. When a family prays together in front of the crucifix, something incredible begins to happen. Resentments start to fade, arguments become less frequent, and hearts open up to forgiveness and understanding. Padre Pio taught that family prayer strengthens all relationships within the household, whether it be between spouses, parents and children, or siblings. It serves as a constant reminder that family is not just a biological connection, but a spiritual one, a bond that must be nurtured with love, patience, and faith. In addition to weekly family prayer, Padre Pio encouraged families to establish daily rituals of faith. One of the most powerful habits a family can develop is praying in front of the crucifix before bedtime. Taking just a few minutes before sleep to thank God for the day, seek His protection, and entrust the night to Him brings a deep sense of peace and security into the home. Another important moment to reinforce family unity through the crucifix is before meals. Blessing the food in front of the crucifix and expressing gratitude for daily provisions reminds the family that all things come from God's grace. This practice strengthens faith, fosters appreciation, and deepens the family's connection to one another. When a family takes the time to pray before eating, they acknowledge that everything they have is a gift from God, and that it should be shared with love, kindness, and gratitude. By incorporating these simple but meaningful traditions into daily life, families can build a home environment filled with love, harmony, and divine protection. If your family does not yet have the habit of praying before the crucifix, now is the perfect time to start. Even the smallest efforts can bring about incredible spiritual transformation. Take a moment to examine where the crucifix is placed in your home. Is it easily visible and accessible? Is it treated with reverence and devotion? If not, consider placing it in a more central location where it can truly serve as a spiritual anchor for your family. Begin by setting aside a few minutes each day to gather as a family in front of the crucifix, offering a simple prayer of gratitude and protection. Encourage children to see the crucifix as a source of love and security, and lead by example through regular prayer and devotion. Padre Pio's teachings remind us that the crucifix is not just a religious object, it is a spiritual fortress. When honored with faith, it becomes a source of healing, peace, and unshakable unity for the entire household. Let us follow his guidance and create homes where faith thrives, where love reigns, and where the crucifix stands as a beacon of God's eternal presence and protection. Padre Pio taught that whenever a family faces difficulties, whether illness, financial struggles, or conflicts, they should turn to the crucifix with even greater devotion. Whether the problem is a serious crisis or a small disagreement, prayer before the crucifix can bring clarity, comfort, and unexpected solutions. The presence of the crucifix serves as a reminder that no challenge is too great when faced with faith. Many families have shared powerful testimonies of transformation, experiencing profound changes in their relationships simply by making prayer before the crucifix a daily habit. When tensions arise, rather than allowing stress and resentment to take over, families who gather in front of the crucifix find their hearts softened, their minds clearer, and their burdens lifted through prayer. One of the most important lessons from Padre Pio was that children should be actively involved in family prayer. Young minds absorb faith through experience, and they must grow up understanding that the crucifix is not just an object, but a source of love, guidance, and protection. When children see their parents and siblings praying before the crucifix, they naturally learn to do the same. If faith is woven into daily family life, children will carry this spiritual foundation into adulthood, making it a permanent part of who they are. The crucifix can also serve as a tool for reconciliation within the family. In moments of tension or disagreement, taking even a few minutes to pray together in front of the crucifix can completely shift the energy in the home. When a husband and wife struggle in their marriage, praying together before the crucifix restores patience, love, and understanding. When a parent and child face conflicts, coming together in prayer breaks down walls of miscommunication and strengthens trust. When siblings argue, seeking peace before the crucifix encourages forgiveness and unity. Through these moments, families experience healing and transformation, realizing that when they invite Christ into their challenges, love prevails over division. Many families have shared incredible stories of change after making the crucifix a central part of their home. Those who once struggled with poor communication found themselves speaking to one another with more patience and kindness. Homes that were once filled with tension and frequent arguments became places of peace and harmony. Padre Pio firmly believed that when Christ is at the center of a home, blessings multiply. But this requires commitment from the entire family. Prayer should not be something reserved only for times of crisis. It should be a regular practice that continuously invites God's presence into daily life. One powerful tradition is for each family member to touch the crucifix before leaving the house. This simple yet profound gesture symbolizes that they are carrying Christ's protection with them wherever they go. Likewise, upon returning home, taking a moment to give thanks before the crucifix reinforces gratitude and faith, reminding each family member that no matter what happened in the outside world, they are home under God's protection. However, for the crucifix to truly strengthen family bonds, it must not be treated as just another decoration. It should be placed in a visible and central location in the home where prayer can happen naturally and where family members can turn to it for strength, guidance, and reassurance. Padre Pio left us with a powerful message: a family that prays together stays together. No matter how difficult times may be, when faith is the foundation of a household, any challenge can be overcome. If you haven't yet introduced family prayer before the crucifix, now is the perfect time to start. Take the first step today, and you will begin to see how peace, unity, and blessings start to flow throughout your home. Throughout history, thousands of believers have shared testimonies of unexpected healings, physical improvements, and spiritual renewal that they attribute to the presence of the crucifix in their homes. This is not a coincidence. Padre Pio taught that the crucifix is far more than a religious symbol. It is a channel of divine protection and blessing that can bring relief, healing, and strength to those who receive it with faith and devotion. We live in challenging times where illness, stress, and anxiety affect more families than ever before. Concerns about physical and mental health have never been greater, but Padre Pio left us with a clear and hopeful teaching. Prayer before the crucifix can be a means of receiving healing, peace, and divine protection from all forms of affliction. In homes where the crucifix is honored with devotion, many people have witnessed remarkable improvements in health. Illnesses decreased, physical discomfort eased, recovery after surgery or medical treatments happened faster. Padre Pio explained that prayer before the crucifix strengthens both body and soul, activating a healing energy that supports the body's natural recovery process. However, his teaching went even deeper. He emphasized that the crucifix not only protects against physical ailments, but also guards against the illnesses of the soul. Sadness, despair, fear, and emotional pain often manifest in physical symptoms, weakening the immune system and making the body more vulnerable to sickness. Padre Pio warned that stress, anger, and a lack of inner peace can open the door to various ailments. This is why he recommended placing a crucifix in both the bedroom and the main living space. He assured that the presence of the crucifix creates an atmosphere of peace that strengthens not only the spirit, but also the body. There are countless testimonies of people who suffered from insomnia finally experiencing restful sleep after saying a short prayer before the crucifix at night. Those who struggled with chronic pain found relief after offering their suffering to God in prayer. Entire families who lived with tension and anxiety felt a renewed sense of peace in their home simply by committing to praying before the crucifix together. Padre Pio taught that faith has real power over health. This does not mean we should abandon medical treatments or ignore doctors' advice, rather. We should complement them with a life of prayer and trust in God. Just as we nourish our bodies with healthy food and medicine, we must also nourish our souls with faith and the presence of the crucifix in our homes. One of the practices Padre Pio recommended was placing a crucifix in the room of someone who was ill. He assured that this simple act brought comfort, hope, and in many cases, an improvement in recovery. The crucifix is also a powerful defense against spiritual disturbances that can affect health and well-being. Many people have reported experiencing unexplained anxiety, fear, and distress, sometimes feeling a heaviness or negative presence in their home. Padre Pio warned that spiritual attacks can manifest in various ways, even influencing physical health. In such cases, he strongly recommended holding the crucifix while praying for protection, peace, and healing. To fully receive the blessings of the crucifix in the home, we must treat it with reverence, keep it visible, and use it as a source of daily prayer and devotion. When we embrace the true power of the crucifix, we open the door to healing, protection, and a deeper connection with God, bringing peace, love, and strength into every corner of our lives. Padre Pio taught that the crucifix must be actively used in daily life, not simply hung on a wall and forgotten. It should become a place of daily encounter with faith, where each member of the family can pause, pray, and seek strength in moments of need. When honored with true devotion, the crucifix becomes a source of divine protection, peace, and renewal for the entire household. One powerful practice Padre Pio recommended was making the sign of the cross with the crucifix each morning upon waking and each night before sleeping. This simple yet profound gesture strengthens one's spiritual connection with God, serving as a reminder that divine protection is always present. Additionally, holy water can be used alongside the crucifix to reinforce its spiritual shielding power. In times of illness or weakness, Padre Pio advised that one should pray while holding the crucifix in one hand and apply holy water to the forehead or hands of the sick person. This act is a symbol of faith in God's mercy and healing power, reinforcing the belief that divine grace is present even in suffering. Many people struggling with illness feel overwhelmed by fear and loneliness, but the crucifix serves as a powerful reminder that Christ also suffered, that he understands our pain, and that he never abandons us in times of difficulty. Padre Pio taught that by gazing upon the crucifix with faith, we can find the comfort needed to endure any trial. In hospitals and healthcare centers where a crucifix is present, many people have reported feeling a deep sense of peace. This is because the crucifix is not just an object, it is a tangible sign of God's love and mercy, even in our moments of greatest suffering. Padre Pio insisted that children should be taught from an early age to see the crucifix as a source of healing, security, and divine protection. Children are especially sensitive to the spiritual energy around them, and when they grow up in a home where the crucifix is honored and respected, they develop a stronger faith and a greater sense of inner peace. For those suffering from chronic or prolonged illnesses, Padre Pio recommended setting aside time each day to pray before the crucifix, asking for strength, endurance, and healing. Even in cases where physical healing does not come immediately, the peace and resilience gained through prayer make suffering more bearable and purposeful. When we have a crucifix at home and use it as a channel for prayer, we create an environment where faith, healing and peace can flourish. Faith does not replace medicine, but it complements it, ensuring that our minds, hearts, and spirits remain strong as we face life's difficulties. The crucifix serves as a shield against the illnesses of the body, mind, and soul. It reminds us that we are never alone, that Christ is with us in every trial, and that with faith and prayer, we can find strength to move forward. If you do not yet have a crucifix in your home, now is the time to bring one into your life, not as a simple decoration, but as a real source of protection, healing, and blessing for your entire family. Throughout history, many people have faced financial hardships, uncertainty, and struggles with scarcity. However, Padre Pio taught that when the crucifix is honored with true faith, it can become a powerful channel of blessings, both spiritual and material. For some, it may be difficult to believe that prosperity and faith are connected. But Padre Pio firmly insisted that when we live with devotion and honor Christ's presence in our home, the doors to abundance open in ways we could never predict. This is not about magic or instant solutions. It is about living in harmony with spiritual principles that allow blessings to flow naturally into our lives. Padre Pio explained that prosperity is not only about money. True abundance is about stability, peace, and opportunities that allow a person to live with dignity and purpose. In his teachings, he spoke of how the crucifix acts as a magnet for blessings when it is placed in the right locations and honored with sincere devotion. One of the first principles Padre Pio taught was that the crucifix should be placed in a highly visible area of the home, particularly at the main entrance. This brings spiritual protection and prevents negative influences from entering the home. In the living room, where the family gathers, this creates an atmosphere of harmony that attracts new financial opportunities. Many people have shared surprising testimonies about how, after placing a crucifix in their home and beginning to pray with faith, they started to notice improvements in their financial situation. Some found new jobs. Others were able to pay off debts that once seemed impossible. Many discovered new sources of income they had never considered before. Padre Pio explained that when a home is spiritually aligned and protected by the crucifix, the negative energy that blocks prosperity begins to dissipate. This does not mean that money will fall from the sky without effort, but rather that people will receive the clarity, strength, and inspiration needed to make the best financial decisions. One of the most common mistakes that block prosperity is a lack of gratitude. Padre Pio taught that gratitude is the key that opens the door to abundance. Many people focus on what they lack instead of appreciating what they already have. That is why Padre Pio recommended that whenever a person receives money, even a small amount, they should take a moment to give thanks before the crucifix. Another powerful practice he encouraged was the daily prayer for provision. He explained that God always provides for those who trust in Him and work with honesty and diligence. He recommended that each morning, before starting the day, a short prayer be said before the crucifix, asking for wisdom to make good financial decisions and to manage resources wisely. Padre Pio also warned against the dangers of greed and excessive attachment to money. True prosperity is not about accumulating wealth for its own sake, but about using resources wisely and sharing with others. Many people who struggle financially do so because they are afraid to give, believing that if they share, they will have less. However, Padre Pio explained that giving with love and faith opens even greater doors to abundance. A common testimony among those who followed his teachings is that in moments of need, they helped someone else despite their own difficulties, and shortly after, they received an unexpected blessing, such as a job offer, a financial breakthrough, a resolution to a problem they once believed to be impossible. Padre Pio taught that the blessings that come from honoring the crucifix are not instant, they develop gradually, manifesting over time. However, the transformation becomes undeniable as faith strengthens, peace deepens, and life begins to align with divine grace. One of the most effective ways to invite provision and stability into the home is to dedicate one's work and daily efforts to the crucifix. Before beginning any job, task, or responsibility, Padre Pio encouraged saying a short prayer before the crucifix, asking that everything be guided by divine will. Many people who have followed this practice have shared remarkable testimonies. Businesses that once struggled began to flourish, new job opportunities unexpectedly appeared, and debts that seemed impossible to overcome were finally paid off. Padre Pio's message was clear. When we place our trust in God and allow the crucifix to serve as a constant reminder of His presence in our lives, everything starts to align in a positive way. Faith gives us the strength to work with determination. Wisdom guides us to make sound financial and personal decisions. Peace replaces fear, removing the anxiety of uncertainty. If you are currently facing financial difficulties, do not lose hope. Place a crucifix in your home, dedicate time to prayer, and focus on gratitude for what you already have. Stay open to the opportunities that God may place in your path. True prosperity is not just about money, it is about living with fulfillment, security, and peace in your heart. Padre Pio left us with a powerful message. The crucifix is not just a religious symbol, it is a key that can open the doors to blessings in all areas of life, including financial well-being. When we trust in divine provision, live with gratitude, generosity, and unwavering faith, we begin to see the abundance that flows from a spiritually aligned life. Many homes have a crucifix hanging on the wall, but is it being used as a source of protection and blessing? Padre Pio taught that the crucifix is not just a decoration, it is a powerful source of grace. However, for it to truly transform a home, it must be activated through faith, prayer, and reverence. He frequently emphasized that many people do not receive all the blessings the crucifix can bring because they do not honor it properly. Too often, it sits forgotten in a dusty corner, neglected instead of being a central focus of faith. To fully activate its power, the crucifix must be treated with reverence and serve as a daily reminder of faith within the home. One of Padre Pio's first recommendations was to have the crucifix blessed by a priest before placing it in the home. He explained that this blessing not only consecrates the object, but also opens a spiritual channel, strengthening the home's divine protection. While an unblessed crucifix still holds meaning, one that has been blessed carries an even greater spiritual charge. Where to place the crucifix for maximum blessings? Main entrance. Serves as a spiritual shield, preventing negative energies from entering. Bedrooms. Ensures peace, protection, and divine presence during sleep when the soul is more vulnerable. Living room. Acts as a gathering place for family prayer and unity. Work or study space. Encourages divine guidance and success in daily efforts. Padre Pio also stressed the importance of daily prayer before the crucifix. It is not enough to simply have one in the home, it must be used as a focal point for faith. Each morning and evening, take a moment to express gratitude, seek protection, and renew your spiritual commitment. A simple yet powerful practice is to make the sign of the cross when passing by the crucifix, reinforcing its constant presence in daily life. Padre Pio recommended specific prayers to strengthen faith and invite divine protection. The Our Father, the Hail Mary, the Glory Be. He also advised praying the Rosary before the crucifix at least once a week, as this practice amplifies the crucifix's spiritual influence within the home. Another meaningful act Padre Pio encouraged was kissing the crucifix at the beginning and end of each day. This gesture symbolizes love and respect for Christ's sacrifice and deepens one's spiritual connection to faith. Additionally, lighting a candle before the crucifix during moments of deep prayer enhances the connection with God, particularly in times of difficulty or decision-making. Padre Pio taught that the crucifix is also a powerful tool for physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. For physical illness, he advised placing the crucifix on the chest while praying, asking for healing. For anxiety or insomnia, He recommended keeping a crucifix near the bed or even holding it while sleeping to keep its protective power active. The crucifix should always be treated with respect. It should not be placed in inappropriate locations or handled carelessly. Instead, it should be a central focus of family life, a daily reminder of faith and divine love. Padre Pio suggested that at least once a month, the crucifix should be carefully cleaned while offering a prayer, renewing its presence and influence in the home. Padre Pio emphasized that faith and commitment to prayer are essential to unlocking the full power of the crucifix. Simply having it at home is not enough, it must be actively honored through prayer, reflection, and devotion. When properly used, the crucifix becomes a powerful force of transformation. Many families who have followed these teachings have experienced profound changes. Homes once filled with conflict found peace. Families facing illness felt relief and healing. People struggling with despair found renewed hope. These changes are not coincidences. They are the result of a genuine spiritual connection with the crucifix and its divine power. Padre Pio also warned that spiritual enemies constantly try to weaken faith, and one of their strategies is to make believers lose respect for and connection with the crucifix. To combat this, he advised reinforcing the crucifix's presence in the home, dedicating time to deepening devotion, and ensuring the home remains a sanctuary of spiritual protection. One additional recommendation from Padre Pio was for families to pray together before the crucifix at least once a week. He explained that this practice strengthens family bonds, reduces tensions, and creates an atmosphere of love and peace. The length of the prayer does not matter. What matters is that it is done with sincerity and faith, inviting the crucifix's blessings into the home. Additionally, the crucifix can provide guidance in important decisions. Padre Pio advised that when someone faces a difficult situation and is unsure of the right path, they should pray before the crucifix, asking for wisdom and clarity. Many have testified that after doing so, they have received unexpected answers and felt an inner peace that led them in the right direction. The crucifix is also a shield for those traveling. Padre Pio recommended praying before leaving home, asking for safety on the journey. When the crucifix is honored with faith, worries become lighter, peace fills the home, and blessings begin to flow abundantly. This is not superstition or magic, but the true result of strengthened faith and a deep commitment to spirituality. If you feel the need for greater protection, inner peace, and divine guidance in your life, there is no better time than now to begin activating the power of the crucifix in your home. To fully receive its blessings and protection, the crucifix should be placed in a strategic location where it can be a daily source of strength and reflection. Dedicate time to prayer, allowing the crucifix to serve as a reminder of God's presence, and reinforce your connection to faith through consistent devotion. Padre Pio taught that the crucifix is not just a religious symbol, it is a doorway that connects us to divine protection, healing, and grace. Throughout history, thousands of believers have experienced astonishing miracles through faithful devotion to the crucifix. These are not mere coincidences, but real testimonies revealing the transformative power of this sacred symbol. Padre Pio always emphasized that the crucifix is not meant to be an ornament, it is a source of divine intervention. It is through faith and consistent prayer that its power can manifest in the lives of those who truly believe. One of the most moving testimonies comes from a mother desperate to save her sick child. Her son had been diagnosed with a severe condition, and doctors had little hope for his recovery. With unwavering faith, she placed a crucifix above his bed and prayed relentlessly for divine intervention. Make prayer a daily habit, and trust that every time you look at the cross, you are reminded that you are never alone. Now is the time to decide. Will you open your heart to this blessing today? Begin your path of spiritual renewal, strengthen your faith, and allow the crucifix to be the guiding light in your life.